All-Star Western number 10, written by Justin Gray and Jimmy Palmiotti, art by Moritat. Last issue we left off with Tallulah, some random woman popping in, and being attacked in a wing casino by a weird red-cloaked man who was defending the rich people. This issue picks up exactly where we left off with Alan Wayne complaining to a man named Lucius Bennett saying, like, this is absolutely unacceptable. You cannot be throwing people out of my casino. And he's like, I will pay you back whatever money it costs, and I'll deal with the law enforcement. I do have my own connections, wink, wink. And he's like, that's not, dude, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, don't you understand? This is my city. I'm the one who rules it. And Alan's like, dude, no, I'm Alan Wayne. I've literally built half the skyline, and I have just as much as right to claim the city as you do. And Bennett's like, oh, okay, well, we'll see based off of that property that we're both after. You may want to turn it into a park, but the economy does not lie. People need places to live. Goodbye, Alan. So it's just, a rich person battle. Meanwhile, we see Tallulah outside being comforted by Jonah, who then sees the red-cloaked figure, and they're like, all right, see you soon. Meanwhile, over at Arkham's place, Tallulah has been changed out of her bounty hunter gear into this weird floral lacy dress, and Arkham's tending to her wounds or whatever. Jonah is like, she's going to be okay. And he's like, yeah, no, just a couple bumps and bruises. I did have to change her, and she has significant scars on her body, to which Jonah's like, yes, I'm well aware of her body. And Arkham's like, oh. And then Jonah is, of course, annoyed that he's doing that sort of thing where he's trying to get into his head. So he explains she's been looking for a guy named Bennett, to which Arkham's like, well, that rich guy in that party was called Lucius Bennett. It's like, well, that's probably the guy. So he's going to go out looking for her, but she doesn't have any friends. I'm the only one that she can even kind of say is anything close to that. So just stay here and watch over her for me. And Jonah heads off as Arkham's mother is literally like screaming in the background for Amadeus. She's got her own issues. So meanwhile, Jonah is going back to the casino. He wants to talk to Alan Wayne. Some bodyguards stop him, but then he's very easily able to get through. Not by fighting, though. He just tells him, like, I'm here to see Alan. He's going to want to see me. So he tells her that he knows Tallulah personally and that she's there to go after the Bennett guy and what he did to her. Then we get 2 pages of the Court of Owls, which I thought we were done with this after the Night of the Owls technical crossover story last issue, but no, this is still it. And basically they're just saying how there's a group called the something of Cain. I can't even remember what it's called. The Followers of Cain. And they follow the crime Bible. And there are 5 groups of them, all with their own leaders. One for thievery, assassination, extortion, prostitution, and terrorism. The 5 branches of crime, I guess. And the only way that the Court of Owls is going to be able to stop this group is by taking out the heads of each of those groups. So they're going to use Jonah Hex and Tallulah as their unwitting pawns in order to take out Bennett, who actually is apparently the head of I believe it's the extortion one. So yeah, it's just this wildly circuitous plan, and they're all looking forward to doing that sort of thing. So then we get to Tallulah waking up, and she is not happy that she's been changed into a floral dress. She immediately strips out of it, and Arkham's like, oh, good heavens, oh my. And she's threatening him to go find some clothes, nothing that's frilly or whatever like that, and also to go make her some breakfast. And so he does so, he gets her suitable clothes, but he can't help staring at her, and his internal thing is just like, she is like so, she has a lot of scarring and stuff, but you can tell that she's beautiful, but also she is like quite literally Jonah Hex just in a woman's body, like personality-wise. So there's a lot to unpack here. But she notices him staring, comes at her with a knife and being like, if you keep staring at me, I'm going to attack you. And he basically breaks down like, oh no, I'm a doctor. It was all, medical. I'm a friend of Jonah's. And he's like, oh, Jonah, was he stopping by? Because if he was, I'm not going to need basically saying she's going to bang Jonah whenever Jonah shows up. And right on cue, Jonah walks in laughing at the scene of Arkham being held at knife point. To which Arkham remarks how unsettling it is to hearing Jonah laughing. Then they Hex and Tallulah make out. He picks her up, throws her over his shoulder, goes up to what I can only assume is Arkham's bedroom, and says, "See you in a bit." So, yeah. Anyway, Arkham then goes to the local, I guess, penitentiary. And he was summoned because there's this one guy who's just sitting there talking crazy. And he goes and talks to him, and he says, like, look, someone's after me. It's an assassin. I wasn't supposed to see them meeting, but I saw them meeting. I was stuck up on a roof, and now they're after me because I know they exist. And he basically tells Amadeus, like, the owls. The owls are the ones who are after me, and they're going to send their assassin. He's like, okay, you're clearly stressed out. I'm going to just give you a little sedative, to which the guy freaks out over because he thinks he's about to be poisoned or whatever. Guard comes in, restrains him. Arkham gives him the sedative, and as Arkham is walking out of the room with the guard laying the guy down, he hears a crash right behind him. He turns around, gets the door back open, and sees both the guard and the convict are killed. And it was at most like 15 seconds with no point of entry but a skylight 15 feet up. So he's like, that's impossible. But he looks around for any sort of clue, and he finds a single owl feather. And he's like, all right, I'm going to have to talk to Jonah. And that's it. It's good. I think they're doing a good job of developing the character of Tallulah. I kind of brushed over a lot of it, but she is very gruff while also having her own little thing of her reasons for doing this. I think her pairing up with Hex is a good way to develop both their characters. I like how Arkham's just been a good comedic foil for this entire series. I really have no problems with that at all. So, no, it's solid throughout. I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm very surprised we're continuing with the Court of Owls stuff. I thought for sure that was more of a Night of the Owls tie-in, but no, like, they set it up before the tie-in happened, and they're continuing it well afterwards. So I'm interested to see how well that's going to continue forward. But for this particular issue, I'm going to go ahead and give it I'll give it a 7.5. It feels good. It's got a good story being set up in it. And yeah, I'm just interested to see where it goes.